The Cubs and Brewers went 11 last night. Rizzo, deep right field, gone. 3-2. Anthony Rizzo began the 5-run rally for another win over Milwaukee. It's the first place Cubs coming up on NBC Sports Chicago. Game 2 next. From Miller Park in Milwaukee on a clear and somewhat cool evening, we're set for Cubs baseball on NBC Sports Chicago. It's a bit of a day-night doubleheader as the Cubs and Brewers wives played softball earlier today. Cubs took game 1. We went 11 innings in a 7-2 Cubs win. And we update the standings in the NL Central. Still just a half game separating these two teams, but it's the Cubs on top. They are in first place now for the first time since May 1st. And since the final day of May, they picked up 5 games in the standings. Great to have you with us tonight. We've got a day game tomorrow, off day Thursday, off to St. Louis this weekend. And JD, the Cubs in extra innings here the last couple of weeks, scoring a ton of runs.
Yeah, they've been a really good late all year long. You know, the battle of the bullpens is going to be an important piece of this series between the Brewers and the Cubs. Last night, the Cubs prevailed. The Brewers lost for the first time all year when they took a lead into the 7th inning.
So Rizzo gets it started with the home run. Remember earlier he had hit one into the 4th deck, but it foul. And the Cubs had the lead, but they weren't done yet, and it's never a bad idea to add on.
Right, and after the Rizzo home run, there were 2 quick outs, so all of the add-on runs came after 2 outs. Baez draws a rare walk. Russell's hit by a pitch. Moore uses the opposite field. Hayward continues to punish the baseball. He's batting .407 over his last 12 ball games. So the Cubs able to get a lot of work done against the Brewer bullpen, and that meant that Brandon Morrow did not have to pitch last night, so he's ready to go tonight in case we have another tight game.
Cubs now 8-1 in the season series. They have won the last 7 games between these two teams. Pitching matchup tonight. Tyler Chatwood needs to cut down the walks. We seem to say that every 5 days or so. And Chase Anderson pitches well against the Cubs, but he can't beat them.
Yeah, because his team doesn't score for him. This year he's made 2 starts. He's pitched well, lost them both, been shut out in both of those games. As a matter of fact, his last 3 starts against the Cubs, that's been the case. His team has failed to score for him. Yeah, Chatwood, it's all about commanding the strike zone. He doesn't have to be perfect, but he needs to be a lot better than he has been.
And his best start of the year was against Milwaukee. 7 solid innings at Wrigley Field in late April. As we mentioned off the top, we had a game earlier today. The Cubs wives battled the Brewers wives in a charity softball game right next to Miller Park. We'll find out what transpired from Kelly Kroll when we return.
a layer to this I-94 rivalry. It was the first ever Cubs and Brewers Wives Softball Challenge this afternoon. Right outside here of Miller Park is Hellfair Park, and that is where the Cubs wives and Brewers wives took the field this afternoon, all for such a great cause. The tickets and proceeds from this event go to the RBI softball program, which helps inner city in both Chicago and Milwaukee, their softball and baseball programs. You can see the husbands there, role reversal, right, wearing their ladies' faces on their shirts. They had a great time this afternoon, all again for such a great cause. And anyone who bought a ticket to this event actually gets to get into tonight's game, which is on the way here on NBC Sports Chicago. It'll be Tyler Chatwood for the Cubbies and Chase Anderson going for the Brew Crew. It's all coming up here from Milwaukee on NBC Sports Chicago.
To in part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Back here inside Miller Park, the roof is open tonight. Still a little bit on the cool side, but very comfortable. And the Cubs 8-1 against Milwaukee this season. They've won 7 straight in this season set. Got one more after this tomorrow. Montgomery and Chassin, and then the Cubs will be off on Thursday. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup against Chase Anderson. Almora, Hayward, Bryant at the top. Rizzo, Zobrist in for Schwarber, and Contreras in the middle. Baez, Russell, Chatwood at the bottom. Tyler Chatwood hitting .200 on the year so far.
Brewers defensively, outfield alignment, Yelich, Kane, Santana. That's a good group. Shaw, Arcia, VR, Thames back in the lineup. At first base, Manny Pena, the catcher tonight. Lexus experienced amazing starting pitcher is 30-year-old right-hander Chase Anderson. He's making his 13th start. 4-5 with an inflated ERA of 4.57. League bats .232 against him. 3-4 lifetime against the Cubs with the .333.
We are underway. That is a strike on Almora. The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Albert gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. And he likes to swing early. Almost 20% of Almora's plate appearances have ended after one pitch this season. That's the second highest such percentage in baseball. But he is picking up a lot of hits, hitting .323 on the year. 3 of them last night. And he hammers this ball out into deep right toward the corner. It is caught by Santana. Sliding grab, robbing Albert of probably a triple if it's not caught.
A heck of a play here by Santana as this ball's drifting away from him, and it would have been a fair ball, I believe. It's for base hit, probably, as Len said, triple, and dies in the glove of Santana out there, and a very appreciative Chase Anderson, who's had some first batter issues. He's had some struggles here in his home ballpark with an ERA up over 6 here.
Actually 72 degrees at game time tonight. We'll gladly take it. 1 ball, no strikes on Jason Hayward. 3 RBIs, including the game tying run knocked in the 8th. That's a big pitch for Anderson, that changeup. And it's interesting to note, JD, the Cubs hitters collectively have the highest swing and miss rate on changeups among all big league teams. 38.5%. So that's been a tough pitch for them.
That's why Joe had concerns about last night's matchup with Junior Guerra, because he throws that splitter, which is his changeup. Guys who elevate the four-seamer and guys with good changeups are tough matchups for many of the Cub hitters.
Now 3-1. Anderson is not taking much time here.
No, I think he's trying to set a tone because he struggled of late. Didn't make it out of the 5th inning in his last start. Has a .724 ERA over his last 3.
Chopper foul by Hayward. Eleven innings, 7-2. Cubs a winner last night. Handing the Brewers their first loss in a game in which Josh Hader appeared. Ball 4. Hader continues his good work.
He didn't chase the changeup there. Took his walk. 2 guys to keep an eye on tonight. This man stepping into the box, Chris Bryant, very good numbers against Anderson, and Ben Zobrist as well. KB is 6 out of 18 against him with 3 home runs. Zobrist is 9 out of 17 with 3 home runs against Chase Anderson.
Chris hit into his first double play of the year last night. KB takes on Chase Anderson, brought to you by AARP. 3 homers and 19 career plate appearances. And he golfs it foul, back out of play. The guy on deck has had a lot of trouble with Anderson. Anthony Rizzo, 1 for 15. He's in his best stretch of the year.
And Anderson's a reverse split guy. He's better against lefties than righties.
Texas native on a 1-1. Popped him up. And it's caught by Arcia. And the second out. Brewers were out doing some early defensive drills today, especially their infielders. Jonathan VR is trying to make a quick tag on Ben Zobrist in the 8th inning. And a tag play from first And he just couldn't handle the one bounce throw, and that allowed Zobrist to get in. And eventually scored on the Hayward game tying single.
Yeah, that was an impressive sequence. The heads up play, the tag in advance by Zobrist. A very risky play, but it paid off, and then Hayward able to deliver the base hit against Hader, who had only allowed 2 hits to left-handed batters all year.
Cubs base running was generally excellent last night. Javi Baez had 2 steals. Really put pressure on the defense when you do that.
Yeah, I played a tight game, you know, real good defensively, turned a couple big double plays. Chris Bryant made a couple nice plays down at third.
Got the shortstop Arcia way out in the right field grass in the shift. 2 balls and a strike.
There's some pitches at about 92. He can give you a little more than that. That last one at 95. He's unpredictable too. He doesn't lean heavily on his fastball. Pretty good balance with his secondary pitches, change, curve, and cutter.
Now 2-2 on Rizzo. That game-winning homer last night gives him an 8-game RBI streak, and he's now tied for the team lead with 46. Slight choke up on the bat.
Arcia is not only playing out there in that rover position, but kind of strong pull rover.
Yep.
And I point that out because do you ever play fast pitch softball?
I have not.
You know, it's a smaller diamond, obviously, so you can move around and do different things. There was a play we used to do where the catcher would try to pick the guy out first, and he'd intentionally sail it over the first baseman's head, and the second baseman would have moved in and catch it, and the base runner would take off thinking it was a wild throw.
It takes off here, and the ball's foul.
And the only reason I bring it up, and it would never happen in a major league game because you'd probably screw it up, but that play would be in play here with the positioning of Arcia.
Yeah.
He could just kind of drift towards the line as the pitch is being delivered. Pena come up and airmail it over Thames' head, and Arcia would be there to make the catch. And if the base runner was extra aggressive, by golly, you'd have a play.
And if you throw it into the right field corner, it's 1-0.
Yeah, that's why you don't do it.
Right.
It's just it's an imagination.
Yeah. Rizzo foul tips and then strikes out. You can tell he's frustrated. Another tough matchup with Chase Anderson. Cubs strand 1. Brewers coming up against that man when we come back. Yelich, Kane, and Shaw, followed by Santana, VR, Manny Pena, the catcher, Garcia, the shortstop, and Anderson, the pitcher.
Here are the Cubs defensively. Albert Almora Jr. centers, Obrist left, Hayward right. Bryant, Russell, Baez, Rizzo. And infield remains the same as last night. Wilson Contreras behind the plate. Lexus experience amazing. Starting pitcher Tyler Chatwood, 12 starts, 3 and 4, with a 3.86 earned run average. Walked more than he has struck out.
We've got their patient guys at the top. Thames will take his walks. He is in the leadoff spot for the 4th time this season. He missed 41 games recovering from a left thumb injury. And activated prior to the series opener on Monday.
And Tyler 3-1 lifetime against the Brewers with an ERA right at 3. And as Len mentioned in the open, really good against them earlier this year. 7 shutout, allowed just a couple of hits.
That one lined in the center. And Thames has a leadoff single.
They missed with a couple of fastballs, then through the cutter. He can find the zone with the cutter. I think he's more comfortable with that cut fastball than a four-seamer or a sinker. And Thames has a little blowout leaving the box. So giddy to be back in the lineup.
Looks to me like they've got very wet dirt right around home plate here at Miller Park. Christian Yelich playing left. No Ryan Braun in the lineup here tonight. Yeah, I was digging into some of Tyler's numbers. The walk rate is almost 21%. It was under 11% for his career going into this season. That's in the center. So 2 on with nobody out. He is striking out more batters than in previous years, but as you said, he's actually got more walks than strikeouts, which you never want to see. He has limited slugging. And some of the other numbers are good.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem sustainable. 3.86 ERA with basically a walk per inning.
Yeah,
probably not going to continue.
That's one of the really interesting statistics in all of baseball right now, that Tyler could be working this 21% walk rate and have a better than league average earned run average.
Well, he needs a ground ball at an infielder. And the batter is Lorenzo Cain. And he takes ball 1.
The bigger issue with the walks has been the short starts because of the high pitch count. A lot of high stress pitches with men on base. Quality pitches there. One he didn't get the call on. Second one he did. A good cutter at 88. So it's fastball that can go to 96. Will typically sit around 93. Cutter, curve, and straight change.
Batting third for the 5th time. Mainly leads off. Hasn't hit lower than third all year. 1-2. Keep the base runners tight. Last 10 games against Milwaukee, the Cubs pitching staff has an ERA of under 1. So this presents what has been a pretty rare opportunity for the Milwaukee offense this season. First and second, nobody out. Brewers have been shut out 5 out of 9 games against the Cubs. 2-2. High bouncer to short, and they're only going to get one. It'll be first and third, 1 out for Travis Shaw.
A big high hopper, so despite that soft dirt in front of home plate, took a big bounce off of it. There were no other plays to be made.
Shaw tied for 4th in the National League with his 14 home runs. First start of the set, 0 for 2 off the bench late last night. And inside, ball 1. Theoretical sac fly range for Shaw.
Baez a little more pull than you would normally see for double play depth.
A couple of guys on the DL through earlier today, including Yu Darvish from the bullpen mound. We'll have more with Kelly a little later on that. Carl Edwards Jr. also threw a baseball. 3-0. Domingo Santana waits on deck. First inning, 0-0, but the Brewers have runners at first and third with only 1 out. Shaw swings away. That's a fair ball. Thames will score. Kane around third. Ed Cedars going to send him. Relay throw late. It's 2-0. Shaw will get either a double or a triple out of it as he knocks in 2.
Down and in where a lot of left-handed hitters like it. Anthony was tight to the bag there, but he hit it sharply enough to get it by him into the corner.
That's going to be a double for Shaw. And went to third on the throw.
So the Brewers have decided not to be real passive here with Chatwood's control issues. They're out there just wailing away, but they're not looking for walks either because he's been behind in some counts and they're looking to do damage.
And that was a 3-0 swing.
Yeah, with
Shaw.
With what's transpired with him this year, you can see where he might be taking there. But
Santana fouls. It's 0-2. Infield in with a runner at third and 1 out. Both runs last night for Milwaukee came on solo home runs. We'll try it again. Santana's numbers are down. He's making his 47th start in his team's 67th game. Swing and a miss. That's a big strikeout for Chatwood. His first.
down and in changeup. Santana not even close. A case of RBI greed.
The ER had a go-ahead homer in the 5th inning last night. Field back now with 2 gone. 1 strike on the Brewers switch hitting second baseman. From the right side off Jose Quintana. And he got all of it. No decision for Jose. He snapped his longest scoreless streak against Milwaukee, but 6 solid innings and just 2 runs. Bullpen was great. And Randy Rosario got his 3rd win in the Cubs' last 15 games.
Yeah, he was solid, man. Pitching in a high leverage situation, just looked very comfortable out there. 6 up, 6 down. Justin Wilson was really good. He's been on quite a roll now for a while. We've had a number of those wins lately where you just after the game you go, man, it's pretty impressive that they're able to pull that off, not using some of their mainstays out of the bullpen in a tight game. Of course, the explosion in the 11th allowed them to rest Brandon Morrow for 1 more day.
Three hits and 2 runs here in the first for Milwaukee. A 2-2 count on VR. Looks like that changeup grip from Chatwood, and he gets it. But Shaw's 2-run double gives Milwaukee an early lead. Ben Zobrist leads it off. JD mentioned the big numbers against Anderson. And Ben had a big impact on the game last night, even though he didn't start. A looping curveball for a strike. High-speed action is powered by Xfinity. This was after a leadoff walk in the 8th inning. VR just couldn't hang on. If he does, Zobrist is out, and you could probably make a pretty strong case that Hader doesn't give up anything that inning.
Yeah, and you know, Hader's been so hard to hit. That's why I like to play, even though it was a high-risk play. And if the Brewers execute, he's out. You're just hoping that the throw's off-liner a little bit or mishandled as it was by VR. The throw was actually a good one from Kane, even though he was a little bit flat-footed.
Inside. Count is full.
Pretty beefy numbers.
All four. Anderson has walked 2. Here comes Wilson Contreras. He's got a 13 game on base streak. He had a home run. Ryan Braun went up to get it and left 0 for 4 with a walk last night.
Anderson's ground ball rate is down. He has one of the lowest ground ball rates in the league. Normally you'd be concerned with that with Contreras up there. He hits it on the ground to the pull side quite a bit.
Anderson hails from Wichita Falls, Texas. 3 no-hitters during his senior year at Ryder High School. Twins were really in on him in the low rounds a couple of times. Drafted out of high school and then out of junior college, but did not sign with Minnesota. And Contreras cracked his bat. Eventually ended up at the University of Oklahoma, and then the Diamondbacks made him a 9th round pick in 2009. One on the Cubs catcher.
Well, Anderson obviously an important piece of the Brewers rotation. Jimmy Nelson has been on the DL all year, and I haven't heard much buzz around here about him coming back anytime sooner. When we played them earlier, you know, you heard June, but I'm not hearing that now. Zach Davies also currently on the disabled list.
Wade Miley as well. Inside on a fastball. Yeah, so Anderson was their opening day starter. The Brewers have already done something that they hadn't done for him his last 3 starts against the Cubs. They've scored. He had no run support at all. They were shut out in each of his last 3 assignments against the Cubs. That's to third and a base hit. Shaw decided to try and make a play, even though he really didn't have one. Didn't look like that ball had much of a chance of going foul. And the Cubs have 2 on with nobody out.
Yeah, it would have been worth a shot for him to let that one go, though, because maybe it takes a little funky bounce when it hits the ground. A high chopper maybe had some side spin. And it certainly would have been worth a shot at letting that go. It looked to me like it was starting to trend towards foul territory. No, not with that look, though.
Cubs have their first hit. And the batter is Baez, who snapped an 0 for 18 last night. 2 hits, a walk, 2 steals, 2 runs. He's got 11 stolen bases, ranking 6th in the National League. Top of the zone. Curve for a strike.
Don't like the call. Don't let it take you out of the at bat.
It's Mike Estabrook, a home plate umpire.
And he did a nice job staying back on that ball, presenting it well for Estabrook. And Javi chasing that high heater last night.
Zobrist at second. Contreras at first. And 2-1 to Baez. Ball that'll get fouled on the right field line. A little warmer tonight than last night, and they've got the outfield panels open, so we're getting a little breeze coming through those open windows. Kind of brightens up the place a little bit too.
Yeah. Jumps pretty good here towards right field, especially when everything's opened up. Javi draw walks in back-to-back games.
The unintentional variety, no less. We'll find out. Top number one.
Challenged him with a 95-mile-an-hour heater, able to slip it by him.
Yeah, there were no trickery involved there. So that brings up Russell. And the Cubs don't really have an automatic out in their lineup tonight because Tyler Chatwood is on deck, career .216. Off the corner.
He's feeling pretty frisky tonight. 95 after 95. Last time out against the Indians in Cleveland, he went 4 1/3, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs through 85 pitches.
High fly ball to left. Yelich without a play.
Anderson has not thrown 100 pitches in a ball game yet this year. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that throughout their rotation. Their bullpen has been so good. That was clearly the plan last night because Junior Garrett was pitching a fine game, but it was 6 and out for him as Counsell turned it over to Hader and company. That has been a winning combination. Last night it was not. And that's the tough part if you're the Brewers, to use those resources, try to keep that lead and ultimately lose the game. And you've got at least Hader, I got to believe, is down tonight. Possibly Knebel.
Anderson really had a quick pace to start the game, but 2 on, nobody out here in the second inning really slowed it down. Lined and that'll be it. Zobrist doubled at second base. Promising start to the inning, but the Cubs come up empty. This place was loud last night. Maybe half the ballpark made up of Cub fans.
Dennis the Menace.
Hey, we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Ellsworth Cooperative Telephone in Ellsworth, Iowa. Manny Pena making his team high 40th start behind the plate. Started here in the second inning. Travis Shaw with a 2-run double in the first. Strike called.
A high breaking ball called again by Estabrook. Be interested to hear Manny Pena's perspective on that, because he sure liked it when it was called on Baez.
Bryant with a glove and throw to Rizzo in time. And as you enjoy a cold Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later on in tonight's game. Here's the shortstop, Orlando Arcia. Batting 8th.
Nice. Tyler's last start against the Phillies, he went 4 2/3, allowed 4 hits and a run, walked 7, struck out 6. The stretch of batters there where it looked to me like he really got the feel for his curveball and then kind of went away from it.
Tried
to simplify his deliveries using that kind of hybrid stretch, full windup kind of windup, where he sets his feet as if he's in the stretch, but he's got a little windup action there. Trying to be clean as he breaks his hands. Has a habit of pulling the ball out of his glove and then tapping. And that was kind of throwing him out of whack a little bit. So they really tried to clean that up. See how he keeps the ball clear of the glove the whole time. Really uses his lower body.
So he found that one off himself.
So it gives you different looks with the fastball. He'll throw a cutter, a two-seam sinking fastball, four-seam fastball, change up and a curve.
Pitcher is on deck. Swing and a miss. He's got his third strikeout. That one on the cutter.
Year one of a 3-year deal for Tyler. Lifetime 43 and 50 with a 4.27 ERA. Started with the Angels. So drafted him back in 2008. Out of high school, he was a second rounder. One season with the Angels, then traded to the Rockies.
That's a base hit for Anderson. He came in 0.93 for his career. A ton of strikeouts. That will keep the inning alive for Thames. Tyler not happy with himself that he didn't flag that bouncer back to the mound. I think he was surprised Anderson made contact.
Yeah, had a little pace on it too. It was pretty well hit.
Anderson had 10 strikeouts and 15 at bats prior to that hit. Ames led off the bottom of the first with a base hit, later scored on the Shaw double. He's got some cans, doesn't he?
Oh my goodness.
He likes to take practice swings with one arm in the on deck circle. A really cool beard working currently too.
Yeah, that's new, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The other day I didn't see that.
Rizzo plays behind Anderson at first, and that ball sprayed foul. And it's 1-2.
Ames hit 31 home runs last year. Hit a bunch of them early. He was one of the big stories. Really part of last year. He returned from Korea, where he had a lot of success. He hadn't played in the big league since 2012, prior to last year.
He set a Milwaukee club record with 11 homers last April. That's Bryant on the other side of the bag, and we're going to try to locate Kelly Crow when we come back. She is somewhere in the ballpark.
Check it out. I have ventured all the way up to Bernie's Chalet. And that's because I want to share the experience with you of Bernie's celebratory slide, which anytime the Brewers get a home run, he will do. If you are afraid of heights, I would cover the eyes now. I'm not even sure how I'm going to fare on this. I've been told the key is to scream really loud and be ready to go very fast in this burlap sack. So here goes nothing. Let's just hope I make it in one piece. Oh my goodness! Almost had an accident. Good news is I made it in one piece. Guys, I'll still be able to do the post-game interview. Lynn and JD, you got to do this next time. Let's send it back to you.
That looked really fun.
That was faster than I
went way fast.
Yeah.
Kelly, are you with us?
I am with
Hi.
you.
How many times did you go down the slide?
Oh, at least 4 or 5, because once you get used to it, it's really fun, but it does go so fast. But the view from up there is incredible, and I can see why, you know, we, as Cubs fans, though, they just don't want to see Bernie doing it tonight.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's pretty steep.
You guys got to do that, though. Are you big into roller coasters?
I would totally do that.
Oh, Len, next time we're here.
I'm not a roller coaster guy, but I would totally do that.
I would do the luge. That's kind of luge-like.
So John Baker was telling me today in 2014 he did it. Now, you know, they make you sign a waiver just in case, but he was pretty impressed with it. It was something, he did the whole tour and really enjoyed it.
Nice going, Kelly. I'm impressed.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Bounce toward the middle, and Chatwood will be out. The art took his time, but he was able to get his man. Yeah, it's way up there. I mean, that first shot when Kelly kind of looked over the field, that was. I'll tell you who won't do it. See, that's how we should start.
Yeah, I can handle that. Hey, look out. Remember there was always that kid at the playground that wanted to walk up the slide?
Yeah.
And he'd be annoying because it's your turn to go down.
Right. We have a few people on our traveling party who are not into heights. I will not name them. Pat Hughes.
No, you won't find.
No, Pat would not do it. Mark Brady
no chance.
would not do it. One of our producers. We have a hard time getting Mark to walk across the Roberto Clemente Bridge after games against the Pirates. Bounced foul.
Well, they had him on the ropes last inning, first and second, nobody out, strikeout, line out, double play. So it was a little bit of a running rock there. Let's see if they can get something going here in the third. Albert now 6th or 7th in the league in batting average. Didn't Bernie used to slide into a big mug of beer?
Yes.
There's a breakdown on Anderson. And was that deemed not PC? Is that why they got rid of that beer mug, or just a change of style?
Not quite sure. But yeah, it's Bernie's dugout. It used to be Bernie's Chalet at County Stadium. On the right field line. And no play for VR and Thames.
So a ball that could have been caught. It was reachable, but and in the air long enough for either one of them to get there in time to make a play. So Almora stays alive, and indeed he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in the National League in batting. Came into this one hitting .323. Scooter Jeanette, Freddie Freeman leading the way, batting .340. And a resurgent Matt Kemp hitting .338. All 4 base hit. Right center will play.
It's Travis Shaw, out number 2.
He's good down there at third base. Made a big error in the opening series here, beginning of the season. That costly, but he's a good one. Steve Hayward has convinced him to throw him a fastball. He laid off a 3-2 changeup to take the walk last time. The first pitch changeup he took as well. That's oof.
How about this one for you? Since the start of 2012, the highest team winning percentage in a player's starts.
Yeah.
With at least 800 starts. Jason Hayward. His teams have won at a .600 winning percentage since the start of 2012. Kind of interesting, huh? Braves,
very interesting.
Cardinals, Cubs. Yadier Molina, Yoenis Cespedes, Bryce Harper round out the top 4. Yeah, he's not used to losing. He's been on some good clubs. Braves won 94 games in 2012, 96. '14, they were 4 under 500, but then St. Louis won 100 games. And the Cubs the last 2 seasons, we know how good they've been.
That's a fun fact,
isn't it? Forward is Arcia, and that's it. Cubs go 1-2-3 and trail in the third 2-0.
Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Calling all Parrot heads, Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band are returning to Wrigley Field Friday, July 13th with special guest Boz Scaggs. Don't miss out on Jimmy's only Chicago appearance of the summer. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com/concerts.
I want to say hello to Deanna Falbo from Sycamore. Big Cubs fan. Yelich 1 for 1. Part of that great Marlins outfield that was dealt away over the winter. Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees, Marcell Ozuna to the Cardinals. Spiked a cutter.
Well, it's a lifetime 291 batter. He's been in the league since 2013. Just 21 when he broke in with the Marlins. A line drive hitter, a lot of doubles. 36 last year, 38 two-base hits the year before. There's the anticipation that the home run numbers would jump moving to this ballpark. He's at 8 so far this year.
He draws the leadoff walk. That is Chatwood's first walk tonight.
What's the action out there in the bullpen?
Smelling salts or something?
No idea what they're doing. Guys are weird.
See hockey players do that before a game, kind of get their attention. One ball, no strikes to Kane. Reached down a fielder's choice and scored in the opening inning. Pitches in the dirt. And it's 2-0.
Yeah, it's one thing you have to watch with Tyler. He can be going along nicely and all of a sudden just lose command and two specific spots. Arm side way up, and then when he tries to correct that, he'll start to pull it down and away from the right-handed hitter. Can run a little bit. He's stolen 7 bases in 8 tries. VR, Kane, Braun when he's in there, all capable of stealing a bag. Good pitch.
To see Jason McLeod here in Milwaukee this week, the Cubs senior vice president of player development and amateur scouting. Talking to him about the draft from last week. He looks fairly relaxed. You know what he's like? He's like the starting pitcher after 7 strong innings. Right?
That's a grind, boy, leading up to and then through the draft. Guys are in the bunker for a long time.
One kind of interesting note from the draft. Joe Madden's first cousin's son, so that would be his first cousin once removed. Joe Barron, a left-handed pitcher, was drafted by Milwaukee, swing and a miss, in the 22nd round. And is going to sign and report to their short season club in Helena, Montana.
We got the scouting report from Joe. He said, what, lefty, upper 80s, low 90s fastball, good breaking pitch.
Runner takes off, and that ball's bounced foul past third. I always have to look up the second cousin, first cousin once removed.
Yeah, I don't know all that.
It's about generations, right?
So the
first cousin's kids would be second cousins to each other, right? Bad pickoff throw. Yelich is going to stop at second. Chatwood will be given an error.
Well, they had him moving on the previous pitch to stay out of a double play, and that goes away here with this errant pickoff throw.
Felled Kane. And Contreras will not be charged with a visit here. He's just doing what catchers do. Well, that one on the shin.
Knee, maybe, yeah.
So he's just giving him a little extra time.
The Cubs apparently close to an agreement with their first round pick in the draft, Nico Horner, shortstop from Stanford. The number 24 overall pick. So I'm sure once that happens, they'll get him into Chicago. Let him take a little BP.
Chatwood can't get it. Backhanded Baez, and Yelich. I'm not sure. Well, I know what he was thinking. He thought Chatwood might make that play. And this is taking too long, and the result. Wow, what a smart play by Kane. Are you kidding me? Lorenzo Kane just did something I've never seen before. He basically deked Chatwood because nobody was at first base. So he told Yelich, you get to the bag, I'm heading back to first, and they're both safe.
Playing traffic cop out there. That was
wow.
Tremendous bit of base running. Let's see. Yelich thought perhaps that Chatwood was going to catch it. He did not. He does a real nice job getting the rundown. Cubs don't execute this well at all. That's what sets up this potential play. So Rizzo had come home to cover home as Contreras ran down to third base to get involved in the rundown.
Fielder's choice. That is, I've never seen a play like it. And Lorenzo Kane basically just stole first. And we saw that play here a few years ago. But yeah, he knew nobody was back there, so he just told Yelich, you get to the bag, I'm heading back to my base.
Yeah, that was incredible because by running to second base as far as he did, basically he's conceding an out to the Cubs where they think, okay, we don't have to sprint after Yelich, we're just going to have to go tag somebody here. And then he slams on the brakes, points to the bag for Yelich, and hustles back to first.
Nice play by Baez to get Yelich in the rundown, but as you said, it took too many throws.
Pretty impressive baseball IQ here.
So Carlos Subero saying go, go, go. And
Just a quick little look to the left to see that first base was vacant.
And those little things haven't been done by the Brewers in this season series. The Cubs have done them. these tight ball games, these are the types of plays that can make a huge difference. It was Gene Segura, right? He tried to steal first base and was allowed to, basically. And then they kind of tweaked that rule. It never happened again. Segura started that particular play at second and ended up at first. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Shaw again. Here comes Yelich. Here comes Kane. Shaw's driven in 4 runs and 2 at-bats, and it's 4-0.
Kind of ironic. We've talked a lot this year in Tyler starts about how he's had the ability to pitch around a lot of walks. The most runs he's allowed in any one of his starts was 5. That came in the second start of the year against the Pirates. He only walked 1 in that game, but he allowed 9 hits. This evening, just 1 walk so far. If you're making solid contact against him, that's normally what we don't see.
Santana. After the rundown didn't work out, Jim Hickey made a visit just to make sure Chatwood would make another pitch without worrying about what just happened. Actually, Santana, or Shaw rather, with the base hit. Russell will field and get the out at first. On the play, Shaw moves to third. Infield in against VR. They're holding. And Chatwood will get the out at first. 2 away. And it brings up Pena, the catcher. Strike 1 on Pena. Nothing Milwaukee. It's 1-2.
Another big crowd. The upper deck is not full, but it's a big house.
Bryant will glove, and the throw is in time. It's been the Travis Shaw show. We got some help from Kane on the base running. And it's 4-0 after 3.
Make sure your favorite Cubs are represented on this year's squad by voting at Cubs.com/vote. And catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th.
So it's 4-0. But if the Cubs are able to get back in this game, consider in the first and the third, the Brewers had a runner at third with 1 out and did not get him in. Both times it was Shaw after his 2-run doubles. Strike called to Bryant. Foul near the visiting dugout. Looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for his last 13.
Good action in on the hands there from Anderson. Lively heater elevated. This is good on balls up. Just in on the hands a little bit tougher to get the barrel to.
So this is the 10th game of the season series. This is only the second time Milwaukee has scored more than twice in a game against Cubs pitching. Came in batting 160 in the season series. Swing and a miss. Or strike 3 to start the 4th. Miles Michaelis is pitching tonight on the Cardinals. We're trailing the Padres 3-0 in the 5th inning. Backhanded play, Shaw. Get Rizzo. Xfinity X1 customers say show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Zobrist walked in the second. Curved him for a strike. Change up.
Good let up, yeah.
Ben's had an issue with a couple of low strike calls in this series. Ben May last night, Mike Estabrook tonight.
Appeared to be a good pitch. That's one thing about Zobrist. He doesn't panic. You know, a lot of guys get a borderline pitch called against them. They're down in the count, 2 strikes. Anxiety takes over and they chase a bad one. I'm not saying he's immune to it, that he never does it, but rarely.
With pitchers and batters, they all want to buy strikes or balls depending on their perspective. I think the most frustrating thing has to be, and you can speak via experience, every umpire seems to have a little bit of a different zone. So if you're Ben Zobrist, man, you're working those razor thin margins. I mean, you want to know for sure if it was a strike or not. Anderson working with a 4-0 lead in the 4th. Times points and faster rewards. Learn more at paysbig.com/5x or 5x points, I should say. It's 5x points.
What's the next point?
X means times.
X marks the spot.
X does. On the Milwaukee shortstop. Arcia struck out his first time up and backs off the plate that time.
It was a changeup. Still no fun when it's coming at your head.
Brewers in their home whites. Cubs wearing their alternate blues once again tonight with the walking bear logo on the left chest. Typically the starting pitcher fix the uniform combination. And Baez will make the play. That ball kind of slowed down. It might get to him a little faster.
He got slowed down, and then he had to pick it back up again. Three strikeouts, all the other outs on the ground. There's not been a putout made by an outfielder yet tonight.
A lot was made on social media about Jeremy Jeffress.
What did he do?
Uniform top on last night. We had the blue Brewers, and they were wearing blue Milwaukee. Hard to keep track of all the uniform combos these days.
Used to be there was just two. Home and road.
Pretty sure I can't think of another team that has the patch like the Cubs do. They have the National League patch on that right sleeve, which I think is really cool. Got to take some pride in your league. The Cubs have been in the NL since 1876. The senior circuit. Brewers originally an American League club starting in Seattle.
They were the Seattle Pilots in 1969.
And the move to Milwaukee in April of 1970. And then moved to the National League in 1998. Called strike three. I did not hear of any sort of discussions when the Astros went from the NL to the AL that maybe the Brewers would do it since they had an American League history. But I think the National League history here was actually stronger because of the Milwaukee Braves success from 1953 to 65.
Yeah, I think most people in Houston that were fighting the move to the American League thought that the Diamondbacks would be moved to the American League because that was part of the agreement when
they had to go to the West. So yeah, the Diamondbacks would have made some sense, right? Although maybe would Houston have been moved to the NL West as a result?
I don't know. I just know that there was apparently there was some language when the Diamondbacks were granted the franchise that
that was in play.
We may move you to the American League if need be. And Jim Crane, the owner of the Astros, fought that move to the American League originally. He was buying the club at the time.
Well, at least in the short term, considering how good the Cubs have been, I think both the Astros and Cubs are happy they're not in the same division, right?
Would have made for some interesting times.
I do miss going to Houston. Love that ballpark. And the count is 1-2.
Tyler looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night.
Swing and a miss, so he does get that 1-2-3. It trails 4-0 at the end of 4.
Get tickets to weekend matchups against the Reds, Cardinals, and Padres. Support your Cubs to another division title. Visit Cubs.com and place your order today.
For 4-0 Milwaukee. Cubs have one hit so far against Anderson. That was an infield hit by Contreras.
And just a little slow roller. They haven't made a lot of hard contact against Anderson, who's got very good stuff here tonight.
Right-hander coming back. Fastball strike. 1-1. Wilson with only 4 home runs so far, 21 last year. So slugging down a little bit. Getting on base at a good clip. 371, which would be a career high.
I would expect now that summer apparently is here, or something that resembles summer. The power numbers for a lot of these Cub hitters are going to start to spike. The weather at home for the first couple months of the season has been cold. The wind has been blowing in. It really hasn't been a great hitter's environment. In terms of batting average, the Cubs are far better on the road than at home. They're hitting 270 on the road.
Deep right. And that's Santana for the out. You can follow our Cubs insiders on NBCSportsChicago.com. They're presented by nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Baez 0 for 1.
Mentioned that there hadn't been a ball hit to the Cubs outfielders yet, or put out at least. That's only the second one. A Brewers outfielder tonight. Both times Santana and right on more to start the ball game in that one. And Anderson, who has not been a ground ball pitcher, is keeping the ball on the ground. He's punched out 4, a couple infield pops.
Came in with a 6.24 home ERA. DL time in May due to illness. Matt Albers, who struggled in the 11th inning last night, has gone to the DL with a shoulder issue. He took the loss. And Jorge Lopez is here from AAA. Broken bat pop up. BR shallow right. So it's Russell who lined into an inning-ending double play in the second inning. Ten consecutive Cubs have been retired by Anderson. Fastball too high. Right-hander Luke Farrell is up. Chatwood does have a bat on deck. That's bounced foul.
Ooh. A lot of weapons tonight. Well executed, right on right changeup.
Two, and Russell stayed back and fouled it. Before Anderson pitches, he draws his late father Robert's initials in the dirt behind the mound, and his two grandmothers who passed away. His dad died in 2012, a couple of years before Chase's major league debut. He wears his dad's socks, cowboy boots, belt buckle, jeans, and a polo shirt on his way to the park before home starts. Runs have been knocked in by Travis Shaw on two doubles in the first and the third. Swing and a miss, strike three. Anderson has been sharp all night, and he's got a 4-0 lead in the fifth. Well, as we look at some of the hot teams in baseball, the Yankees really have been hot for much of the year. And what a battle they have with Boston atop the American League East. Astros starting the day a half game behind Seattle, believe it or not, playing well on the road, and the Dodgers might end up winning that division when it's all said and done. We'll see the Dodgers at Wrigley Field next Monday. Daniel Murphy is back. They're in New York, so he's able to DH, coming back from right knee surgery.
And Nationals just kind of average so far this year offensively. Last year they finished 3rd in the league in runs scored. Obviously Daniel Murphy can be a real difference maker. He's a big Julio Gotay fan. Tyler due to lead off next inning, so this might be it for him.
Yankees lead the Nationals 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th in New York. Didi Gregorius has homered twice. He's got 13. Back to Chatwood. By the way, the Yelich run in the 3rd inning unearned. So 3 of the 4 have been earned.
On Wednesday, June 20th, Cubs match up against the Dodgers. First pitch 120, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a Cubs cap presented by Wendella. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Kane has reached on fielder's choices, so he's 0 for 2, but he's scored twice. A nifty base running maneuver as Yelich got caught in a rundown. Kane pointed at second. Yelich found safe harbor, and Kane ran back to an unoccupied first base.
Yeah, the Brewers winning the battle of the nuance part of the game here tonight with that slick base running maneuver. Cubs have committed 1 error, throwing error by Chatwood on an attempted pickoff at first base, and then a mental mistake as Ben Zobrist got doubled off on a line drive, and the inability to execute that rundown.
Off balance throw to get Kane.
Pretty play. You know, it's funny, after Tyler's last start, he was quoted talking about it was a step in the right direction. And I think sometimes you just say stuff because you're trying to talk yourself into it, and maybe he truly felt that. But he walked 7, and the irony is here tonight he's given up 4 runs, and it feels like it's a step in the right direction tonight. The quality of the pitches, the command of the strike zone has been better here.
He's only walked 1. Bad news, Shaw's knocked in 4. The good news is he can't knock in 2 in this plate appearance.
Well, the first double came on a 3-0 count. The second one, I believe it was 3-1. So we put a dangerous hitter like Shaw in hitters counts, kind of asking for trouble.
His dad pitched in the big leagues, Jeff Shaw. balls and a strike. Shaw, an Ohio native.
Uppercut swing on an elevated fastball. That's normally the result you're going to see. Swing and miss, or maybe a lazy pop-up.
Shaw on for the third time. Chatwood's spot due to lead off the 6th. So with the pitch count where it is, possible this could be it for him.
Yeah, I would think it would be. Luke Farrell was up earlier. Right now, all quiet out there in the Cubs bullpen. I mentioned this earlier. Yu Darvish threw a bullpen session today, and Joe Madden was effusive in his praise of Darvish's stuff out there. So they looked really good. Still going to take a while for him to get back, though, because he's going to have to throw, probably another bullpen session after 2 or 3 days off, and then another 3 days off, maybe a simulated game, maybe a rehab assignment. Padres have extended their lead over the Cardinals 4-0, bottom of the 7th. Cardinals with just 1 hit in that ball game.
Missed low. Miami beat the Giants 3-1. Runner going, and he's going to be out. Travis Shaw caught stealing by Wilson Contreras. And that'll take us to the 6th inning. It is still the Brewers 4, the Cubs nothing.
Big day is what Theo Epstein called it as Yu Darvish threw his first bullpen since May 26th when he was placed on the DL. Felt really good, and they are very encouraged by this. Here was Joe Madden after seeing it this afternoon.
Outstanding. He threw really well. Easy gas, great location, good spin on his breaking ball. Very impressed. There's no hitter, but he easily, the ball's coming out hot and was going right where he wanted to throw it. Good command in the pin. The Jimenez caught him. He was moving around and he looked really good. I mean, that's just a bullpen, but it was very encouraging to see him throw that easily that well.
Darvish threw about 30 pitches, guys, and depending on how he feels tomorrow, you could see him throw another bullpen on either Friday or Saturday, according to Joe.
Thank you, Kelly. Kyle Schwarber pinch hitting, rounding out to first, so Anderson now has sent 12 consecutive Cubs back to the dugout. As Mike Borzello chats with Tyler Chatwood about his 5-inning outing tonight. 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 5 hits. Well, strike on Almora. He's done some good work from the leadoff spot this season. This is his 26th start. Leading off, came in with a .385 on base average. This is the out distribution for Anderson.
And 4 of those outs in the air on the infield. It's not really driving the ball off of him at all.
For time. Slicing drive, right field corner, and it's going to land foul.
It's like the one he hit to start the ball game when Santana made the nice running catch on him. Game review going on there with Contreras, Chatwood, and Borzello.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
This guy is locked in tonight, man. Mentioned at the start of the ball game, he had a 7-something ERA over his last 3 starts. You look at that and you think, well, this guy's scuffling. We should be able to get to him. Or you think, well, he's a pretty good pitcher, and odds are he's going to turn it around. And that's the narrative that has played out here tonight. Short outings, fewer pitches. Bound to be a little fresher for that next one.
Swing and a miss. And a changeup. years old, 6'1", 200 pounds. Robert Chase Anderson. Ground ball right to Thames. Changeups worked well for him tonight. And another 1-2-3. That's his 4th in a row. And NBC Sports Chicago is giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets. Enter for your shot to win at NBCSportsChicago.com/lala. Right-hander Luke Farrell, first man out of the bullpen tonight. Cubs are down 4-0. Milwaukee batting in the 6th.
10th appearance for Luke in a big league uniform this year. 2-2 with a 4.05. He struck out 20 men while walking only 3 and 13 1/3. He likes to work the 4-seam fastball down and then up. He'll climb the ladder with it. And pretty good tilt on his slider. There you go. To be featured in that outstanding performance against the Mets. Extra inning affair.
Santana was at the bat when Shaw was caught stealing to end the 5th. Foul back. 0-2. I have a very random non sequitur here, I guess, for you.
Already?
I was just checking between innings Twitter. Ozzie Albies, fine young second baseman for the Braves. You know what his Twitter handle is?
No.
Take a guess.
Wizard of Oz.
No.
At Wizard of Oz. At Albies.
No. At Ozzie. How did he get it? What is he, 21?
All the other Aussies are old and they don't have Twitter handles.
I thought Ozzy Osbourne or some Ozzy who was around a lot longer would have grabbed that. Good for him, man. Now I got to figure out how he got it, when he got it. I mean, did you try at JD or you just go with Jim DeShays?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not really all that.
Well, I don't know. Is there a minimum character you have to have? More than 2, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know the Twitter rules.
One and one to BR. Figured Ozzie Guillen might have grabbed at Ozzie years ago.
Farrell's long and lean. It's pretty good mechanics. Tall guys sometimes you can fall out of those mechanics, get a little wobbly, but he's pretty linear, plays straight to home plate. Finishes square, good fielding position. Looks to be a very repeatable delivery, which would lend itself to consistency.
Pitching for his third major league team since making his debut last season. Royals, Reds, Cubs. Recently turned 27.
Came in the other day with the bases loaded against the Pirates, and Gregory Polanco cleared the bases on him. And I was asking Joe about it today. He said, "You know, I like that matchup." He thought Farrell's elevated fastball will get the job done. And Luke hadn't been out there in quite a while, and Joe kind of took some of that on himself. I just hadn't pitched the kid, hadn't been out there, and it's tough to be sharp when you don't pitch with any kind of regularity.
They are walks. Ozzy Osbourne's O-Z-Z-Y, so that's why he wouldn't have that.
So that'll be the challenge now for all future parents, to give your kid a unique enough name that he can have a Twitter handle that
just the first name.
Yeah. This is our son Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, that one's probably taken. Is it spelled like you think?
Exactly like you think.
No, it's not. P-E-L.
At some point, VR would be looking to steal a second base here. Maybe not on 0-2.
Outside for a ball. Ozzie Smith is at STL Wizard. So that's a little bit like what you thought Ozzie Albies might look like. 1-2. Manny Pena takes outside. 4 runs in the game. Shaw knocked in 2 in the first with a double, knocked in 2 in the third with a double. That's been it. Cubs have had very little going offensively. Fly ball into center, where Almora will grab it. 2 outs, and it brings up Arcia.
Chatwood tonight, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 97 pitches, 60 for strikes.
Mr. Albies has hit a grand slam tonight, by the way. Atlanta leads the Mets 8-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
The baby Braves.
Dominic Smith starting at first base tonight. This week, Adrian Gonzalez cut loose.
Yeah, I saw a rumor that they're thinking about sending Michael Conforto to the minor leagues.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on some high heat. 1-out walk. Does not turn into any runs. 4-0 Brewers after 6.
For your next client, corporate, or family function, like an all-inclusive suite experience, daily suite rentals are still available for select games throughout the season. For details, visit Cubs.com/premier. Go time.
Yep, Bryant in the 7th takes a curveball low and away. Nobody's reached since Contreras in the 2nd inning on an infield hit.
It's the only hit in the ball game for the Cubs. A couple of walks and a slow roller down the third base line. So Anderson up over 100 pitches for the first time this year, and there is action in the Brewer bullpen.
Dan Jennings, the lefty. Taylor Williams, the right-hander. Fly ball out in the deep left. Yelich backing up to the warning track. 15 in a row set down by Anderson.
Back up an outfielder finally, but stayed in the ballpark, and Yelich able to make a play on it. Maybe just had to reach for it a little bit. Didn't quite barrel it up.
Rizzo has struck out and grounded out. Looks at a strike. Again has that RBI streak on the line. He extended it last night with a booming homer in the 11th to win it. Lined and caught. And
It's the anatomy of a good night for a pitcher. Do a lot of good work, and when it's hit hard, it's hit at somebody. Two pretty good swings by the Cubs in this inning, but Yelich to haul in the deep drive by Bryant, and Thames snares this line drive off the bat at Rizzo. Right about now, you say, yep, it's my night.
Zobrist a walk and a strikeout. He lines, and did that hit his glove? Apparently not. And Jim Reynolds ended up on the grass.
Good call, Jim.
Things didn't get close to it. Both guys hitting the deck. Diving stop. Thames. Chase Anderson with 5 consecutive 1-2-3s. Stretch time in Milwaukee, still 4-0 Brewers. Coors Light. Head over to Hawkeye's Bar and Grill in Little Italy at 5 to put your sports trivia knowledge to the test for a shot to take home cash. Luke Farrell in his second inning of work, and he'll face a pinch hitter, Eric Sogard, or Chase Anderson, who was brilliant tonight. 7 scoreless innings on just 1 hit.
Yeah, and had great stuff, good execution, and then some Madden balls there to end his outing. But that's exactly what the Brewers were looking for. Dominant performance by a starting pitcher. Try to turn the tide here in this season series between these two clubs. Cubs still have a couple cracks at it against the Brewers bullpen. First things first, got to get the Brewers in the 7th.
Bat, and Sogard fouls away.
For the record, apparently the Brewers' wives won the softball game this afternoon.
10-3. Guessing that will become an annual event. The next one's got to be in Chicago, though, right?
I think.
Can't let them all be played here. Yeah, maybe 16-inch version. The Chicago style. Did you ever consider playing that?
Did I know? The opportunity never presented itself.
But we could find opportunities.
Well, that ship
need a glove.
That ship has sailed.
Line in the left. Sogard aboard.
You play it? Have you played that?
I've never played 16-inch. for Lowe's. Whole team together. Let's take a look at the NL home run leaders. Lowe's leading the Dodgers by 1. And into tonight. I should note the Cubs have their extra base hit streak on the line tonight. 1 hit, that was a single. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Thames. They've got a 96-game extra base hit streak dating to August 28th of last year. That was their longest streak since at least 1908. Called strike 3. It's hit for Thames. Yelich on twice, scored in the 3rd. On a breaking ball, a little high.
You're talking, excuse me, you're talking about that Marlin outfield that has been dismantled. Yelich, Stanton, Ozuna. If they were to get Santana here in Milwaukee back up to where he was last year, that triumvirate here would be awfully good. I love the depth of his breaking ball. And the fact that he works it off that high 4-seam fastball is a great combination. Diamondbacks dropped a 5 spot on the Pirates in the bottom of the 1st. 5-0 in the desert early.
Came from behind to beat them 9-5 last night.
Phillies hung on to beat the Rockies 5-4. Dominguez. Sir Anthony with the save. Aaron Nola picked up the win. He's now 8-2 with the 227. 6 2/3 innings. He allowed 1 run, struck out 10, did not walk a man.
Full count. My favorite story of the week. Minor league baseball team in New York. Did you hear this?
No.
Staten Island Yankees. They're going to change their name
to
the Pizza Rats.
The Pizza Rats.
You've seen that video, right, of the rat carrying a slice of pizza?
I've not.
In New York? Yeah. It's so there'll be the Pizza Rats for every Saturday home game this summer. They've got special uniforms.
Speaking of videos, did you see the high school video? I think it was the Minnesota State playoffs, state championship game, maybe.
No.
And a pitcher batter, game on the line, end of the game. Pitcher strikes out the batter. Apparently they grew up together. They were great buddies, but they were on the opposite teams. And as the team pours onto the field to celebrate, the pitcher just walks directly to the hitter that he just punched out to end the game. and just wraps him up in a big bear hug. It's a really cool video.
Runner goes and fouled away again. Nice to see good sportsmanship. Daniel Ponce de Leon is in the big leagues with the Cardinals. 26-year-old right-hander. He was a guy who got hit by a Victor Caratini line drive at AAA. Suffered a fractured skull last year. Had an emergency craniotomy to repair an epidural hematoma. That's bleeding of the brain. Had 3 months where he couldn't do anything. Neat story. Swing and a miss, and the throw is high. So Sogard steals second. Yelich strikes out. Just like we promised earlier, time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. Lorenzo Cain did something that I had never seen in a big league game. As one of his teammates got caught in a rundown. That's Yelich between second and third. But as Cain surveys the scene, once he gets to second, he says, Christian, you get to the bag, you're good. And I'm going to run back to first. And Carlos Subera said, don't leave me hanging. Strike on Cain.
We now have Cain and Knebel.
Right. Bounding ball to Russell. Nice work by Farrell. 2 scoreless innings. Cubs down 4. He's trying to give them a chance late.
Featuring a limited edition 7-inch vinyl with Eddie Vedder's All the Way and Steve Goodman's Go Cubs Go. It is sure to be a collector's item. To purchase tickets for this limited offer, visit Cubs.com/vinyl.
Right-hander Taylor Williams now working in the 8th inning. 4-0 ball game.
Maybe not grabbing the headlines like Hader and Jeffress, but Williams having a very good year as well. Big strikeout numbers, 33 punchouts and 24 1/3.
First pitch swinging, Contreras fouls away. Only Cub to have a hit tonight. Swing and a miss, 97 on the fastball. Williams is from Washington State, went to Kent State University in Ohio, 4th round pick 2013. Missed 2 seasons recovering from Tommy John surgery. 2015 and 16. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Stuff wise, delivery wise, he's like a right-handed version of Josh Hader. Got the hair working too.
Mike Montgomery against Jhoulys Chacín tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock.
That old saw about momentum in baseball being the next day's starting pitcher. Pretty evident what we've seen here tonight. You think, well, the Cubs are big dramatic, come from behind, 11th inning win. We have all the momentum. Momentum's name was Chase Anderson tonight.
Horizon projected starters. Montgomery has been great in his first 3 starts in for Yu Darvish. And the Cubs facing Jhoulys Chacín for the first time this season. This will be his 15th start. If you do the New York Times crossword, you'll know that Friday, June 8th, that was this past Friday, 26 down. The clue was, quote, don't count your chickens before they hatch. E.g. 6-letter answer. You just said it.
I did?
Yeah. Old saw.
Oh.
Three and 2. Got him on a sweeping slider.
This is more typical. Last night they were elevating fastballs to Javi with 2 strikes. Here the spin, the slider away. That's more typical what you see for right-handed pitchers against Baez.
Anthony Bass got the final 3 outs last night in his Cub debut. One ball, one strike. And Russell.
How did you remember that that was a clue from Friday's crossword?
Because I don't always do them the day of. I typically do Thursday through Saturday, sometimes Sunday. But I was busy this weekend, so I'm still digging into
playing catch up
the last weekend. Three and one to Russell. And a base hit. That snaps a string of 19 consecutive Cubs retired, dating back to the second.
And a good solid single. Russell does a lot of work through the middle of the diamond. On top of that one, smokes it. Right past Williams, tried to hacky sack it. Probably lucky he didn't take that one off the ankle.
Pinch hitter Tommy LaStella takes a strike.
Zach Britton is back with Baltimore. First appearance of the season. He ruptured his Achilles in December. Walked 3 of the 5 batters he faced. It proves everybody his arm is sound. Trade deadline, people are going to be all over him. Tommy gets on and things get interesting.
You have to do it with 2 strikes. Cardinals lost 4-2 to the Padres tonight. Russell singled with 2 outs. It's now 2-2 on the pinch hitter LaStella. We are way back in the outfield grass against Tommy, and a 1-bouncer right to Thames. Cubs lead 1 to the bottom of the 8th. It's still Milwaukee 4 and the Cubs nothing.
experiences at Wrigley Field. Seats with prime views and access to an exclusive club and first-class amenities. These new premier experiences will allow fans to enjoy Cubs baseball and America's most majestic ballpark in a whole new way. Visit CubsPremier.com to join the Premier Client Priority List.
See the numbers for Anthony Bass last night. Came up from AAA. Seen a bunch of action right off the bat. Padre, Astro, and Ranger.
And Ham Fighter.
Right.
Over in Japan. I'll tell you what, Luke Farrell's been most impressive. He was really good again tonight. He struck out 4, 2 innings of work. Cubs got him, claimed him off waivers from the Reds. And it just seems like there'd be a spot for him over there with that Cincinnati ball club. I mean, they got some talented young arms over there, but their pitching situation's been a mess.
Yep.
They may rue the day they put him on waivers.
I'm trying to drop in another old song. It's Almora, and Shaw retired for the first time tonight. He's perfect here in the 8th with the Bassomatic.
The Bassomatic. It's probably out there on YouTube, I would think.
Former teammate Kevin Bass, switch hitting outfielder.
Yeah, KB was a real good hitter in a long major league career. Randy Bass,
86, 311 that year, 20 homers, 22 steals. Actually debuted with Milwaukee in 1982.
I believe traded to Houston in a deal that brought Don Sutton to the Brewers.
Yes.
Frank DiPino also was in that deal, and Frank went on to pitch for the Cubs later on in his career. But Randy Bass, another, speaking of Basses, Bassi, he had a long career in Japan, hit a bunch of home runs. Anthony down at Iowa at a 2.28 ERA. He's 30 years of age.
Yeah, Randy Bass in 1985 at 54 home runs. In Japan. Santana's out on strikes.
Wasn't it Bass? He was threatening Sadaharu O's record, and they just started walking him. They weren't going to let him break the Legends record.
Jacob Barnes is up. I want someone to get to the big leagues. BASS and pronounce it base. The instrument. Nickname, if he's a pitcher, could be Count Basie. VR reaches on an infield hit.
Well, that was kind of funky.
And VR a little shaken up.
And Riz both going for the ball, and with VR speed, there was no play to be made. Once it got by Anthony right there.
Not sure what's going on with VR, but appears to be leg related. strain on the extension. Yeah, that looked like Craig Counsell saying, look, you got to be 100% sure. And then you saw VR kind of give that exhale, and that was the signal to take him out. Hernan Perez will run for him.
Normally when a guy comes off the bench like that, he's going to jog up and down the line a couple times to stretch out.
Fly ball to deep right. On the warning track, it's Hayward, and that'll take us to the 9th inning. It's the top of the Cubs order. They only have 2 hits through the first 8, and they trail by 4. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard return to star in the next chapter of one of the most exciting movies in history. See Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom in theaters June 22nd. 4-zip Milwaukee behind Chase Anderson for 7 innings. Taylor Williams a scoreless 8th, and now Jacob Barnes in a non-save spot in the 9th. Almora, Hayward, and Bryant do. Harris stays in, plays second.
Barnes posting pretty good numbers. He's actually spent a little time in the minor leagues this year on the opening day roster. Struggled a little bit, was sent out. He's recently recalled on the 27th of May. Got some giddy up too. That one at 95 has a good sharp slider.
Not impossible. He scored 5 in the 11th last night. Milwaukee bullpen quiet. I suppose that could change if the Cubs get a couple of base runners.
And he'd love to put a little pressure on him. And leadoff man reach here. Assuming Josh Hader is not available tonight. He threw 35 pitches in the ball game last night. Jefferson, Knebel both worked. I'm guessing they're both in play.
Charged by Shaw. He gets Albert by a step.
The ball needed to bounce one more time. Had a much more difficult play for Shaw, but he charged it and took that bounce away.
Shaw made a bunch of those plays in defensive drills before the game, working with Carlos Subero. One reach for Hayward. That was a walk in the first inning. .35-459 in the ballpark tonight. And Cub fans not nearly enough to cheer about compared to last night. Hefty home run time. Cubs leaders, 3 in double digits. Rizzo got there recently. Bryant and Happ not too far away.
Those are averaging over 33,000 per game. It's up over 4,000 from last year. The second biggest increase in baseball behind the Astros.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Hayward. Cubs came in having won 5 consecutive series. Even if they don't win this one tonight, they'll still have a chance to win their 6th consecutive set tomorrow. It's Arcia for out number 2. It's up to Bryant now. Brewers looking for their 40th win. After this series, the Cubs will still have 3 games in hand on the Brewers.
By my count, I have the Cubs hitting the ball out of the infield 4 times tonight. Moore fly, Contreras fly, Bryant deep drive to left, and the Russell base hit up the middle.
Orange to Bryant outside. I'm not a huge save fan. I think a lot of people in baseball are kind of over it as well. Maybe the stat should just be wins finished. The guy who has the most of them for various teams generally will pitch in the biggest spots. A win finished on the line, that would be for anybody. No matter the score. So 4-0. Barnes will get a game finished, but not a save if he can get Bryant here.
Barnes is a beast, man. He's strong. He really uses his lower half.
This will do it. Just a matter of who wants it. It is Perez, and the Brewers have set up a rubber match tomorrow. Cubs could not get anything going offensively tonight. Their best chance was in the second. They had 2 on, nobody out, but then Baez struck out. Russell lined into a double play to end the inning. And Travis Shaw knocked in all 4 Brewers runs.
The Cubs have been making a habit of shutting out the Brewers this year, and the Brewers upend things a little bit. Chase Anderson was just brilliant here tonight, and enough offense because of the solid pitching to pick up a win. It should be fun here tomorrow afternoon.
Toast of the game is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. It goes to Chase Anderson, the winner. He's 5-5.
Yeah, he'd been in a little bit of a funk in his prior 3 starts, had an ERA of 7 and change. He had pitched well, but had not beaten the Cubs in a while because he got 0 run support. Tonight he got some run support, and he pitched brilliantly. 7 innings, 1 hit, a couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Everything was working for him tonight. Had a good heater, sitting around 94, 95 all night long.
Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.